It's another episode of Diary of a Wannabe Comedian with me, Belle Finn, a wannabe comedian. See, I'm getting better at that intro, getting the hang of it now, I think. Before I bore you senseless with tales of my knee, I thought I might actually talk about some comedy, because there's a couple of articles that have caught my attention. One, I think I'm a little bit behind the curve because I seem to recall Jamie Jackson mentioned it in one of his podcasts, but I've actually read the article now. I found the article. So I'm sort of catching up from the recent surgery. I'm going through some of my emails and I found it and read it. But the first one is about a comedian, Jocelyn Chia, who told a joke about the plane that went missing about 10 years ago, flight MH370. I actually think it was a fairly innocent joke. She even said, jokes about that, not funny, but then some jokes don't land. That was essentially all she said. And now there's a warrant out for her arrest. All I can say is it makes me happy that I can tell jokes and not be fearful. I think the most fear I feel is being vilified on social media, which is kind of why I keep my head down. I know that's ironic while I'm doing a podcast, but generally on social media, I don't have a huge presence. And that's because, I get worried about being trashed, which is ridiculous, isn't it? Particularly when you hear stories like this. And she told the joke as well in the Comedy Cellar in New York, so she didn't even really tell it in her own home country. Don't know whether that makes it worse or better, but anyway, good luck to her. She doesn't appear to be worried, which is a good thing. And then the other story about comedy is a producer has created a new night, which is based on a night in America somewhere where they throw tomatoes, I think, comedians. Anyway, he's created a night where you throw beanbags at the comedians. So it's another Gong Show type of thing. And there's a prize for the person with the fewest beanbags thrown at them. Bottle of champagne, I think. Oh no, the prize for the least beanbags is £30 and the prize for the most is a bottle of champagne, I think. Something like that. Anyway, it was an interesting article to read. I don't know how I feel about it. Only said the beanbags are no bigger than a tea bag and it is based on something that already exists. He's just trying to bring it to the UK, blah, blah, blah. And by all accounts, I don't think I've met him, but he's a nice guy. He's got a good reputation, should we say, on the circuit. So obviously he's completely well-meaning. However, where I don't agree is that he's made it a bringer night. So not only do you have to be completely humiliated by having beanbags lobbed at you, you have to do it in front of your friends. So interesting times in comedy. Needless to say, established comedians don't like the idea. In fact, one of them, and I've got it here, said, make me laugh. He said, because obviously a lot of comedians were criticising it, but this one guy, Mark Nelson, just said, ignore all this, double down, 12 acts, 1 minute. Each audience member gets a snooker ball in a sock, and anyone who doesn't last the minute gets beaten to death. And that just made me laugh. So that's kind of the comedy news that I have for you. I personally am still not doing any gigs. My first gigs are in July, but I do need to sit down and start writing some comedy. I have been thinking about comedy around, knee-based comedy, but quite frankly, there is nothing funny about this at the moment. I'm sure when I look back on it, it'll be with different eyes, but at the moment, it's just horrible. I had my staples out on Friday, so I went back for my checkup and there were 23 and I was a very brave soldier and it looks very gruesome, I have to say. I sent the picture of my knee to one of my friends with all the staples in and she said, yeah, that's one hell of a war wound. So I will wear my scar as a badge of honour. I've got shorts on today because it's beautiful weather and I'm heading off to Kent actually. So hopefully the Kent air will give me some inspiration and help me write some comedy. But I am struggling around the knee because it is painful. Not only that, it's clicking. I'm not sure I can live with this clicking. I hope this is temporary and just because it's kind of still swollen, but not great. I didn't expect clicking knees. Much love and gratitude.